Hi, in this video we will explore how to create a grid in Flipgrid. The first thing you need to do is log into your account, and you can head to admin.flipgrid.com to log in, and you'll use whatever email and password you signed up with. And once you are logged in, this is the dashboard that you will see. I have the paid classroom version, so you'll notice here it says classroom, and you'll see that I have multiple grids in my account. If you have Flipgrid 1, which is the free version, you are allowed to create or have one grid active at a time. With the classroom version, the paid version, you can have multiple grids active at a time. No matter which version you have, the setup directions are the same. So you're going to click here where it says New Grid. And the way that I think of it is a grid, it tells you here a grid is like a classroom. I like to think of it as a grid is like your house, and then all of the topics that you create are like the different rooms in your house. So here you want to give your grid a name. So I'm just going to name this demo grid. You might want to give it like your last name and your room number, something to that effect. That's easy for the kids to remember. Here is the link that students will need to access the grid. You can give the grid a purpose. So why are people going to be responding to your grid? So maybe my grid is to share EdTech in RUSD. And this is an optional step. You don't have to have a purpose for your grid. The next section is all about privacy and security. So you have the option of password protecting your grid. So students would need the password in order to access the grid. Do you want to allow links to be shared so then people can share the grid or the topic on Twitter, Facebook, and Google Classroom? Do you want to receive email notifications when people are following your grid? And do you want students to be able to download their videos? So this is all personal preference based on what you plan to do with your Flipgrid videos. The third section are different features. So you have the notify me. Do you want to receive an email notification when new videos are added? So depending on how many kids you have, you might want to turn that off. If it's something maybe you're asking parents to do, maybe you do want the email notification on. So again, that's personal preference. Over here is transcripts. Flipgrid does use IBM Watson to create a transcript of the video, but you'll see here it says for best results, videos should be recorded in an environment with little ambient noise. So your classroom may not be the best environment for that, but you can always turn it on and just see what Watson is able to transcribe for you and your students. And then the final thing in this section is the state of your grid. It's active by default, or you can make it inactive. Active means students can see it and record videos. Inactive grids are not visible to your students. So here's where if you have the free version of Flipgrid, you would start to toggle different grids between active and inactive, and you can only have one active grid at a time in the free version. So I'll just leave this as active. The next section is you can customize your grid cover. It's kind of like the picture that students see at the front. So I'll just click on this one. You do have some different options, and then you can go ahead and click Create Grid. You will get a pop-up saying, great, you've created your grid. Now you want to add a topic. We're going to add a topic in another video, but I do just kind of want to show you what the actual grid looks like from a student perspective. So here's that image that I had, and there's a code here. If I click on it, it will pop up what the students will see. So you'll see my header here. My image, it's by me, so your name would appear here, and then here's your stats for this grid. If students were to click on purpose, then you would see what that purpose is. So this is what your grid looks like. Again, I like to think of it as your house, and then you'll have different topics that you will add that are like the rooms in a house.